and welcome. I'm Anne-Marie from the Yorkshire Centre for Wellbeing. We're looking at a couple of different hip openers today. So the simplest level is, can you actually sit cross-legged with your knees coming in contact with the ground? Many of us find this very challenging. So if sitting cross-legged is too challenging for you and your knees are quite high like so, ideally we want the knees lower than the hips, and we can bring the feet up and come into full or half lotus, so the feet were fully up here for full lotus, or maybe just one leg. But if this doesn't work for you, you could put your hips, your buttocks on a block, and this elevates your hips, so it's easier then to get that achieved hip opener. So I'm just using my hands to demonstrate that now. So ideally we want the knees lower than the hips. To help us with that flexibility, we can focus on butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. So we put the soles of the feet together, lift tall, and begin to ease the legs down. Now, if you are very tight in your hips, we just recommend doing it very slowly, or if you're new to this, because this will ensure that you're doing it safely. The name butterfly actually comes from the beating of the legs, as I'm demonstrating here. And we would just keep beating the legs to enable that flexibility to naturally occur. But avoiding this if you're uncertain, because when we go a little quicker, we're perhaps more likely to create an injury. And you can have your soles of your feet together and bring your heels as near to the groin as you can, and ease your knees down to the ground using your hands behind you and having the intention to sit tall. And of course, this comes with practice and with time. And in this position, you can focus on things such as the circling butterfly pose, which helps release the hips, the lower back, and we often use this asana when we are awakening Muladhara, the root chakra, and you would bring your awareness to the root chakra as you make that circle. And of course, the more flexible you are, the more likely you are to go lower. And of course, we should go in the other direction to keep the balance. So there's a whole sequence of asanas that we can focus with when we are practicing on hip opening. So I would generally use these in the warm-up phase of a yoga class if we were going to be working with hip openers that day. And then we can begin to stretch out the legs. Again, you can use your hands and flex and stretch the feet. So there are many options here. We'll just look at a couple today. So you can practice these at home. And the important thing again is to lift up. You can use one hand in front, one hand behind, and grow tall. We'll look at that in a little bit more depth in another video. Thank you. Namaste.